Have you ever noticed how one joyful match night can quietly steal the next morning from you? The cheering, the laughter, the extra drinks, the salty snacks, the late bedtime. It all feels harmless in the moment. But for many adults, especially as the body becomes less forgiving with age, that celebration can turn into a pounding head, dry mouth, low energy, heavy legs, and a strange mental fog that lingers long after the final whistle. The truth is, the next morning crash is often not just about alcohol or lack of sleep. It is about dehydration, lost electrolytes, and a body trying to recover from hours of excitement without enough support. And that is the part most people miss. The good news is that you do not have to choose between enjoying the party and protecting how you feel the next day. With a few simple hydration habits, you can celebrate the World Cup, enjoy the food and the fun, and still wake up feeling far more clear, steady, and human. In this video, we are talking about practical ways to help your body recover before the damage sets in. We will cover smarter hydration, electrolyte support, water-rich foods, light meals that are easier on the stomach, and a few gentle recovery habits that can make the morning after feel dramatically different. These are realistic tips, easy to follow, and especially helpful for middle-aged and older viewers who want to enjoy the big night without paying for it all day tomorrow. The real problem with celebration nights is that most people think about recovery too late. They wait until the next morning, when the headache is already there, when the mouth already feels dry, when the body feels heavy, and when the stomach seems to regret every choice from the night before. But recovery does not begin in the morning. It begins in the hours before, during, and right after the celebration. That is what makes hydration such a powerful tool. It is not just a rescue step. It is a quiet form of protection. When you understand that, the entire night changes. Your first advantage begins before the first drink ever touches your hand. Going into a long match night already slightly dehydrated is one of the easiest ways to feel awful the next day. Many people arrive at a gathering after a busy day, after coffee, after errands, after stress, and after not drinking enough water. Then the party starts, and the body is already behind. A very simple solution is to drink 1 or 2 glasses of water in the hour before the celebration begins. Not all at once, not in a rushed way, but gently, so the body starts from a stronger place. This small habit can make the entire night easier on your system. It is such a basic step that people often ignore it, but it matters more than it seems, especially for middle-aged and older adults whose bodies may not bounce back as easily as they once did. Once the game begins, excitement takes over. That is when people stop paying attention to what their bodies need. Drinks keep coming, salty snacks sit on every table, and hours pass faster than anyone notices. One of the smartest strategies is the simplest one. Alternate every alcoholic drink or sugary beverage with a full glass of water. This can slow down dehydration, help you stay more aware of how much you are consuming, and reduce that harsh, drained feeling the next day. The beauty of this habit is that it does not force you to stop celebrating. It simply creates balance. You can still enjoy the atmosphere, the toasts, the energy of the moment, but you are no longer letting your body quietly fall apart in the background. And even if you are not drinking alcohol, this still matters. Soda, sweet cocktails, and even caffeinated drinks can leave you feeling more depleted when they replace plain water for hours. Then there are electrolytes, which many people hear about but do not always understand. Electrolytes are minerals like sodium and potassium that help your body manage fluid balance, nerve function, and muscle activity. When you sweat, drink alcohol, eat heavily salted foods, or stay up late without proper hydration, your body may not just need water. It may need support holding on to that water and using it well. That is why an electrolyte drink can sometimes help you feel better than plain water alone, especially after a long evening. The key is choosing wisely. Some sports drinks are loaded with sugar, which may not feel great if your stomach is already sensitive. Lower sugar electrolyte mixes, oral rehydration drinks, coconut water, or simple homemade versions can be gentler options. Even something as modest as water with a squeeze of lemon and a tiny pinch of salt can be helpful for some people. It does not have to be fancy. It just has to support the body in a balanced way. Food plays a bigger role in recovery than many viewers realize. Celebration food is often built around convenience and craving, not around how the body will feel later. Chips, processed meats, fried snacks, pizza, and sugary desserts can be fun in the moment. But if that becomes the entire night's menu, it is easy to wake up swollen, thirsty, sluggish, and uncomfortable. The problem is not that these foods are forbidden. The problem is when they become the only thing your body receives. A better approach is to mix pleasure with support. Keep the festive food if you want, but add water-rich, easier-to-digest choices around it. A plate with sliced cucumber, orange wedges, grapes, watermelon, or strawberries can bring hydration back into the picture without making the night feel restrictive. Broth-based soups, yogurt, light sandwiches, boiled eggs, avocado, tomatoes, and fruit can all help soften the impact of a heavier evening. These foods do more than fill the stomach. They give the body fluid, minerals, and steadier energy. Potassium-rich foods deserve special attention because they may help support fluid balance and muscle function after a long night. Bananas are the obvious example, but they are not the only one. Oranges, melon, potatoes, spinach, yogurt, beans, and avocado can also help. Think of potassium as part of the body's recovery conversation. When the body loses balance, these foods gently help restore it. A practical example might look like this. During halftime or after the match, instead of only grabbing another handful of salty chips, you also have a banana with a small bowl of yogurt or a few slices of watermelon or a bowl of warm soup. These are not dramatic wellness rituals. They are ordinary decisions that help the next morning feel much less punishing. Another mistake people make is going to bed on a completely full, uncomfortable stomach after a night of heavy drinking and snacking. The body has to work hard overnight, and that can lead to poor sleep, acid reflux, bloating, and a deeper sense of exhaustion in the morning. A light recovery meal near the end of the evening can work far better than a greasy one. Something simple, soothing, and balanced is often enough. Oatmeal with fruit, toast with eggs, rice with broth, plain yogurt with banana, or a vegetable soup with crackers can calm the body instead of burdening it. The solution is not to punish yourself with nothing. It is to give the body something it can actually use. This is where many people notice a surprising benefit. When they eat lightly but intelligently at the end of the night, they sleep more comfortably, wake with less nausea, and feel more stable. Sleep is another invisible part of the equation. Even when people remember to drink water, they often forget that alcohol, heavy food, bright lights, loud noise, and late hours all interfere with deep rest. Poor sleep can magnify dehydration, worsen headaches, increase irritability, and make simple tiredness feel like a full-body crash. That is why your final hour matters. Once the match and the social energy begin to wind down, your body needs a transition. This does not need to be a perfect bedtime routine. It just needs to be calmer than what came before. Drink a final glass of water. Put another glass by the bed. Dim the lights. Wash your face. Change into something comfortable. Sit down for a minute instead of collapsing into bed in a rush. These tiny actions tell the body that the stress and stimulation are ending. For older adults especially, that gentle shift can improve sleep quality more than they expect. And then comes the morning after, which is where recovery can continue rather than fall apart. One of the worst things people do is wake up already feeling depleted and then reach only for coffee on an empty stomach. Coffee may feel comforting, and for many people it is part of the ritual. But if you are already dehydrated, jittery, or nauseated, it may worsen how you feel. A better first move is to rehydrate before anything else. Start with water. If plain water feels hard to drink, try cool water with lemon, an oral rehydration drink, weak tea, or coconut water. Sip slowly. You do not need to flood your system. Then add something gentle to eat. Toast, oatmeal, fruit, yogurt, eggs, or soup can be easier than heavy leftovers. The goal is not to force a perfect breakfast, it is to stop the downward spiral. Once the body has fluid and a little nourishment, many people feel the fog begin to lift. Gentle movement can also help more than people expect. Not intense exercise, not punishment, not trying to sweat everything out, but a short walk, easy stretching, or a few minutes outside in fresh air. Light movement can support circulation, reduce stiffness, and help the body feel awake again. It also sends an emotional signal that recovery is possible. Many people make the morning worse by staying frozen in discomfort, feeling guilty, and doing nothing until they absolutely have to move. But the body often responds well to kindness and rhythm. A little water, a little food, a little movement, a little sunlight, and suddenly the day feels recoverable. Imagine two viewers after the same World Cup celebration. One stays up late drinking without water, eats only salty snacks, falls into bed exhausted, and wakes up dry, swollen, irritable, and barely functional. The other still enjoys the party, still laughs, still cheers, still shares a toast, but drinks water before the night begins, alternates beverages, eats fruit and a light meal, has an electrolyte drink before bed, and starts the morning with water and a short walk. These two people may have celebrated the same match, but they did not create the same tomorrow. That is the power of simple habits. They do not remove the joy, they protect it. And perhaps that is the deeper message here. Healthy recovery is not about fear. It is not about making every celebration feel controlled or clinical. It is about respecting the body that carries you through these moments. It is about understanding that enjoyment and care can exist together. You can raise a glass, share the meal, stay up for the excitement, and still make choices that help your body feel safe, supported, and able to recover. That balance matters more with age, but honestly, it matters for everyone. Because the best celebration is not the one that leaves you wrecked. It is the one that lets you enjoy the memory and still belong to your next morning. But here is the part most people never hear. Sometimes the worst next morning feeling is not caused by one big mistake. It is caused by a series of small, invisible ones that seem harmless in the moment. One extra drink because the game is tense. One more bowl of salty snacks because everyone else is eating. One skipped glass of water because you are too caught up in the celebration. One late bedtime because the post-match conversation keeps going. None of these feels dramatic. Yet together, they quietly build the crash you feel the next day. And this is why so many people are confused. They tell themselves, I did not even drink that much. So why do I feel this bad? Because the body is not only reacting to alcohol, it is reacting to fluid loss, salt overload, disrupted sleep, digestive strain, and the simple fact that recovery was delayed for too long. The good news is that this means feeling better does not require a miracle. It only requires interrupting that chain earlier than most people do. Sometimes the smartest health move during a celebration is not saying no to the party. It is saying yes to one glass of water before another drink. Yes to a bowl of fruit beside the chips. Yes to a light meal before bed instead of a heavy, greasy one. Yes to setting a glass of water by your bedside. Yes to remembering that your body is working for you even while you are having fun. That small shift changes everything because it turns recovery from damage control into quiet prevention. And that is where real balance lives. So as you enjoy the World Cup, remember this. Celebrate fully, but recover wisely. Hydrate before you are desperate. Use electrolyte support when needed. Choose water-rich foods and lighter meals that help the body instead of burdening it. Then the next morning, begin gently with water, simple food, and a little movement. These are not extreme rules. They are practical acts of care that can help you feel clearer, steadier, and more like yourself. If this message gave you a new way to think about match night recovery, save this video for the next big game and share it with someone who always says they will deal with it tomorrow. Sometimes the healthiest habit is not giving up the celebration. It is learning how to come back from it with grace.